What's up, David? How's it going today?
What do you say, Chad? Good seeing you, buddy.
Good to see you, man. It's been a while. You're out in what you call Steeler country in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, God's country, Steeler Nation, baby.
So now, are you born and raised? Are you from Pittsburgh originally?
Yeah. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Grew up in the city of Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's we kind of had we were teammates to kind of fill in the audience here. We were teammates in Las Vegas. What that was about 2003.
Correct.
AAA here in Las Vegas. You were pumping 95 from the mound, striking out everybody. And yeah, so we met here playing in my hometown. Hot as crap.
Yeah.
Just dying out here, but it was so fun. Now you played on a couple big league teams, but I want to start like from the beginning. Like let's go back to like what was your high school experience like? Did you go to college? Like what's your story?
Okay. Well, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Followed the Pirates, and I knew who you were before I even, you know, I played against you in the minor leagues earlier when I think you might have been in Lynchburg or somewhere around there when you were like an A ball, high A ball, whatever. But I knew you were a first round pick for the Pirates. I always wanted to play for the Pirates, believe it or not.
I bet.
You know, yeah, being a hometown guy. But no, I went to a city school, Langley, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And there was 11 city schools, and the competition wasn't really good in the city. It was the Whitfield, Western Pennsylvania. And it was a lot more ball players. And we probably had two or three ball players on a team. It was tough, in the city of Pittsburgh. It wasn't like you're in California or Texas or Florida or Vegas, or you had tons of players. And it was hard getting scouts up there, as well. We played in the cold weather, but I think, just because we're up in north, we're just as good as anyone else. Sometimes you might not got the exposure as the southern teams, obviously. But I went to after graduating '91. I went to JUCO, CCAC, which is Community College Allegheny County, which was in Pittsburgh, which was nice. Got to stay at home, played. We were pretty good. Finished one game for the World Series the first year. Second year, we went to the JUCO World Series. Ended up, I think, finished fourth or fifth in the country. And then I transferred with me and three of my friends to Mercyhurst College, which is the Division II powerhouse in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And it was real cold up there, right off the lake. And I was there for 2 years. Then I pitched a game. I was a senior when I got drafted. So I pitched a game in Florida against Harvard, and I remember, believe it or not, I used to be a starter back then. You when we played together, I was only a reliever, but I was a starter back then. And I think my last pitch of the game, it was like 97, and I it was at 126 pitch, and there's this guy named Brad Kolar, and at the time I think he was the head of the draft. And I threw that after that game. Every major league team was coming around me. I was supposed to be around the first or second round pick. Then I hurt my arm, my senior year, and it was weird because I was pitching in the game and it was cold, and there's all the scouts here. I wasn't a 15-year-old kid. I was 22 years old, and instead of like saying, "Hey, my arm's sore," or whatever, I pitched the whole game and blew up my arm. And I had another game to pitch, and I probably shouldn't pitch that game, and I pitched it anyway, and that just sunk me in. And they said I had like a muscle strain in my elbow, and instead of being a first, second round pick, back then the draft was like the first 18 rounds. Then the second day was, they had like 60 rounds back then, and I was, so I was sitting by the phone, and after the first day, like 15 teams called me and said I didn't get drafted the first day. I couldn't believe it. Then my scout, who I'm still good friends with, Ed Santa, called me the next day and said, "Hey, how would you like to be a caller at Rocky? Got drafted 23rd round." So he came to my house, signed me. Then I went from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and not being really anywhere besides Pittsburgh, except for a couple vacations. And I went from Pittsburgh to Portland, Oregon. And yeah, it was crazy. It was like went from like playing in front of like 30 or 40 people to 20,000. So I was out there, and it was Todd Helton's draft. That was like the big name, in '95, and I was still hurt, and I got released because I needed Tommy John. And I got home to Pittsburgh. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna hang it up. I was feeling sorry for myself. It's such a mental game.
So right
Mentally.
away, like right when you had your surgery, you're like, "That's it, I'm done."
But I didn't have the surgery though. Like I was before. I didn't have it.
Like as you're hurt, but you're like,
Yeah,
"This is
yeah.
my
I was
career."
like, I was like, I'm done, man. I was like, I'll just start my life, and but then I realized, what happens like in 20 years from now if I don't say, what if, or I could have been. But you know what, Chad? I always had the confidence. I always had it. I mean,
Mhm.
I always had that confidence that I could do it. No matter where I was playing, I was probably just like you. You're playing on the field. You thought you were the best, and you were playing, and I always had that inner confidence. I always had it, and a long time ago, my dad taught me to, things would happen when I was at an early age and I was playing, and I would be good and I'd be bad. If I was good, I'd beat everybody. If I was bad, I'd like mentally self-destruct.
Yeah.
I was like 12, 13 at the time. And I remember one game I pitched, it changed my career, I think. The game I pitched, I gave it 3 home runs back to back to back to start the game. And the coach comes out and goes, "Hey, what are we doing here?" I'm like, "Are you taking me out?" He's like, "Do you want to pitch or not?" I'm like, "I just gave it 3 home runs." He's like, "Who cares?"
Mhm.
So I just got pissed. Yeah. And I just pitched the rest of the game. They didn't get up a hit. My dad goes, "Hey, what happened?" He goes, "That's the best game I ever seen you pitch, and you lost." I said, "Dad, I just got like mad." And he's like, "Well, get mad from the get go." And that's why I played 100%, with a chip on my shoulder. And I carried that through high school, college. Then when I got to college, I'm thinking, okay, I'm hurt. I got all these guys from all over the country, these big guys, from California, Texas, bonus baby guys, guys who high round picks like yourself. Um, and I knew everything was not in my favor. I mean, if I really wanted to do it, I had to go at 100% and mentally keep it, believing in myself. And when I got hurt, I came home to Pittsburgh. I'm thinking, oh man, I saw a couple people. I saw Dr. Job. Before he passed away, I saw Andrews. Then I saw this guy from Pittsburgh saying, got MRI. It was 100% torn. It was like, I don't know, 15% torn, if you want to say it. And they said they recommended Tommy John. And at the time, there wasn't too much clinical data, and he just said, "Dave, if you want to rehab, I'll show these exercises. If you rehab, it's going to take 6 to 8 months, and you can go and your arm might come back." And he goes, "But you can rehab that and still might not help you, and you got to get the surgery."
Right.
But the deal with the Rockies was I got released. I had to get a doctor sign saying I was okay. Then they'd bring me back to spring training, So what happened was I didn't get the surgery. Now looking back, I probably should have, obviously. Absolutely.
So you
But
rehab with no surgery.
no surgery. And I did all the rehab. And the doctor looked at me in the eyes and goes, "Hey, Dave, how you feel?" I said, I said, "You want to listen to me? What I got to tell you truthfully? You want me to lie to you?" Because now I want the truth. I said, "My arm's killing me." He goes, "Well, I can't sign this." I was like, "Listen, Doc, you're going to sign it one way or the other. Either you're going to sign it or I'm going to sign it." And I don't know if that was the right thing to say, but I really wanted to play. And he goes, "Because if I sign this and something goes wrong," he goes, it's just a recurrent injury. It just happened." I was like, "Listen," I said, "I know you got your morals and yeah, your head on the line." I just said that if I get hurt again, it's on me, not on you. So he signed it and went back spring training, and I was still hurt, and they sent me to extended spring training. I don't know if you've ever been there before or not, but
Heard stories.
yeah, I wasn't ready. Yeah, I wasn't ready to break camp like in April, So what they do is like, where we have like instructional league, where your team spring training is, and for Colorado at the time, like I don't know if it's still in Tucson or not, but at the time spring training was in Tucson with the Rockies. So instead of breaking with the team, I was and extended. So you have the big league guys, then you have like all the Latin guys. They've got up from Dominican, Venezuela, or the younger guys out of high school, like higher round picks, and go to short season A. And there's a guy named Pete Filson. He was my pitching coach down there. He goes, my nickname was Diesel. Everyone called me Diesel. So he's like, Diesel, I'm just going to tell you right now. He goes, I love your work ethic. I know you're still hurt. He goes, you got to pitch tomorrow. They're going to release you. So Bob Gephardt, the GM came down, and I had to throw an inning. So I threw an inning. It was like 6 pitches. Got through an inning, thank God. And I was throwing like 84 to 87. And yeah, which, when I was in high school, I threw probably like that. And I was like in junior college around like 90. Then like somehow, some way, I attribute to like running stairs, like really working out. And I went from like 90, 91 to like 92 to 97. I didn't throw a pitch on a 92 as a senior until I hurt my arm. But, I got through the inning. He goes, okay, you got 10 days off, like when the draft, like this, like another draft. You go home for 10 days and come back and join us with short season in Portland. So whatever happened, those 10 days I came back and we're in mini camp. I remember Clint Hurdle was there. I don't know if you know Clint or not, but
not personally.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude. What's that?
So we know of him, of course, but I don't know.
Yeah. So I've known him for when I started in '95, and so anyway, we're throwing live BP, and I don't know how hard the transition was you going from the aluminum bats to the wooden, but that's like the first transition that minicamp most pro players go through. I mean, obviously you probably use your wooden bats during showcases or events coming up before the draft. But how much did you hit with wood before you signed professionally? A lot or not?
When I was being seen and looked at by scouts my senior year, I started to use it in practice. Sporadically throughout the season. So I tried to get used to it. And then you get thrown that bomb bat.
That's it. The bomb bats.
Yeah, I had some experience with it, so I felt comfortable with it.
Okay, so when I was throwing live BP, Clint goes, hey, Lee, he goes, you've been hurt, huh? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you're going to throw about 45, 50 pitches. You're going to tell them what's coming. So I'm throwing the ball, and this is before I don't know if arm's right. I'm throwing it, and I start throwing it. And it's weird, Chad. I'm throwing the ball. When I start hearing the ball before release, I know it's like 93 and above. For some reason, you might call me crazy, but I knew. I said, Clint, I said, you care how hard I throw? He goes, I don't care, Lee. You can as long as you tell him what's coming, you can throw 110, as long as you're throwing strikes. Right. So I'm telling you, man, out of those 45 pitches, I threw all fast. I think 2 kids popped it up. Like I was just throwing the ball by them. Felt great. And that was like in 96. And for some reason, being a closer, I wanted to start. They made me a closer in the minor leagues. They had a pitch count on me. I couldn't pitch more than 30 pitches. Mm-hmm. Every third day I had to pitch. And for some reason in 96, I was leading the league in wins and saves in the Northwest League for some reason. Pitch inning, we're tied or we go ahead, luck of the draw, whatever it was. Yeah. I think I maybe got like 1 or 2 runs in like 25 innings. I went from short season A to high A, and that's when I played against you in I think it was 96. You might have been high A ball with the Pirates, maybe.
Yeah, probably Lynchburg.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I knew who you were. Everyone knew who you were. I mean, being the Pirates, and you guys had a stacked team back then. It seemed like Freddie Garcia was down there, and you guys had a lot of talent back there. But then I played there and a couple years in the winter leagues, like I probably went to Instructs. I got to play in Hawaii. That was great. The winter ball. Yeah. And I went to the Maryland Fall League for some reason. Next year they cut out Hawaii. Then I had to go to Maryland. It was freezing.
Right.
Then I went to Arizona. I didn't go to Arizona Fall League, but I was in Double A. I don't know how it worked for you, but like with the Rockies in spring training, I was coming up as a closer, and I had guys obviously ahead of me. And it was always a trickle down effect. I thought I was always, I'm sure it happens to a lot of guys, thought they should be higher than what they are. And you're going, and I never thought I was getting out of A ball. I mean, The next year I went from short season A to high A. And next year I started in low A. And I was there the whole year. I mean, the whole year. I couldn't do any better. Then '98, I was a whole year in high A ball, and here I am being like 25 in high A ball. I'm older than most of these
Yeah.
guys.
So you feel like you're inching along and you're getting behind in time.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Like I'm like the grandpa out
Yeah.
there. You have the prospects. I was past that prospect phase, but I was still, doing fairly well. And I got put on the roster that year at 25. And the next year I went to big league camp. Jim Leland was the manager, and I knew Jim from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I had a connection with Jim. My grandmother's cousin was his waitress at the country club, so I'd go up there and have lunch with him all the time. So
No kidding. Okay.
yeah, it was cool. When I went out to camp, big league camp, I see Leland, and here I am. I'm right next to Larry Walker and Daryl Kyle. I mean, I'm in there, man. Like you couldn't ask for two better dudes. And I was doing good in the first big league camp. I was nervous as hell, man. I was just like, I don't know how you went your big league first league camp. I was nervous as the first time I pitched.
Oh, it's different, right? It's different from the minor league game. Now you're with the big leaguers. It's like, whoa, around. Oh, you're frozen on me now.
You're frozen now. Here you go. I saw you a little drink. Okay, cool.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah. So like I was at big league camp. The first outing, I was kind of nervous. After that, I was like, I'm getting these guys. I belong here, whatever. Then, reality hit, and Leland called me off. He's like, listen, Diesel, he goes, you haven't pitched above A ball. Yes, we got to figure out who's going to be on this big league team. You're not going to be it. He goes, you did well here. He goes, we're going to send you to Double A to close games. And if we need you and you're doing well, and if you deserve to be here, you'll be here.
Yeah.
So I was in Double A. I think I was in Carolina, like it was like Zebulon, Carolina. Mm-hmm. And I was pitching. Yeah, the Mudcats.
Mudcats, yeah.
Yeah, and I was pitching in Double A, doing real well closing. And in Triple A in Colorado Springs, I knew there was a couple guys got hurt, so I'm thinking maybe I might get a chance to get called up. Who knows? You always thinking you should be the guy or whatever. And then it was like we played a night game and we played a day game right after. And I pitched in both games. And Jay Laviglio was my do you know Jay Love?
He was my manager in '96 in Augusta.
Okay.
Jay's awesome.
Augusta. Yeah, he is good dude. Yeah. So I was Jay Love goes, hey, Diesel, come on, we're gonna play a card game in my room. So back then, me and my wife, we're married and we're apart. So she's not with me. Mm-hmm. So when I tell her I'm gonna call her at a time, I don't care what I'm doing, I'm calling her at that time.
Right.
And Jay Love's like, I think you want to play this game. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get called to AAA, whatever. So he goes, cut the deck. So I'm cutting the deck. And he goes, whoever got the lowest card, pick. So I cut the deck. He's like, you're going to the big leagues. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So I'm Double A. I'm calling my wife. So I'm calling everybody, say, hey, I'm going to be in the big leagues tomorrow. I'm leaving tonight. And, I get up there and I had a couple, Kurt Lascan, I don't know if you know him or not. He was from a Pittsburgh guy. And, I knew the guys from spring training. But I got up there, I got up there before the humidor was there. So like there was like a 23-12 game. Someone got ponded or they needed some fresh arm or whatever it was. Right. And I got called up, and the next day we're playing the Diamondbacks, and it's like a 7-3 game in the sixth inning, and I get called, and I'm going in there. So I'm running in there, at Coors Field, and the first guy I face is Jay Bell. So he used to play for the Pirates. My grandfather used to babysit his kids, when he was in Pittsburgh. So I knew him, and and I don't know how, like when you got to the big leagues, I always think for me, I had to earn my stripes. Like, I had guys like Daryl Kyle, who's a great dude that passed away, and Laskanik and Dave Harris, older veteran guys in that bullpen, Jerry DePoto, would tell me, he's like, Dave, you're going to throw a ball right down the middle, and they're going to call it a ball. I'm like, what? And like, it's like, because So I'm telling you, the first pitch I threw was like 96, right down the middle of the ball. And I looked up on the scoreboard and I said, okay, I got my stuff. So next pitch was like 95 ball. Then I'm like, here I am, 2-0. Then catch, I think it was Kurt Manwaring. Kurt Manwaring's catching, and he didn't really know me too much well, but he played in the big leagues for 15 years. I'm thinking, okay, next pitch was slider, and Jay Bell hit one out on me. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. 2-0
First
slider?
first batter hit the ball off me, man. Yeah.
Why is he swinging at a slider?
I don't know, man. It was a cement mixer, man. Just he hit the ball like 10 feet off the air and went like 380 feet. But yeah, it was a bomb. Then Matt Williams didn't stand a chance next batter. He had like 3 fastballs, struck him off. And, then the next inning I pitched. Then after the game, it was weird because, I was all mad and pissed. And, I didn't know how to deal with the media either. I had to sit there and talk to the media. I mean, when you're a big leaguer, you're first coming up, there's all kinds of things that go with it. Obviously, you probably being a first big time prospect, I'm sure all the media outlets were all over you when you got called up there.
It was different. Yeah. The first day I got up there was, Pittsburgh's a small market team, but all the main stations were there to interview me that first day. And it's kind of overwhelming at the beginning because you're only used to talking to one guy at a time, and so.
Yeah. No, so I got up there, then that rookie year for me in 99 actually did pretty well. And believe it or not, I did whatever it means. I led the team in ERA the first year, being up. I was up for about 5 months. Wasn't up to the whole year, but it was weird, man. The team ERA was like 6.2, if you can think about it. The team ERA was like 6.2, which was crazy.
Yeah.
But I was up there watching Larry Walker do amazing things and Helton and all this. I mean, it was just those main superstars, just like those big time superstars, and you'll have them on every team. They're there for a reason. Guys, outsiders, you and I know, but outsiders think they just show up and they play, man. It's all the hard work and preparation, the mental aspect of the game. I mean, when you're going good, you're going good. When you're going bad, I mean, I remember getting booed out of stay and not even go in the next day because everyone's down on you, And so if you go and do something well, you're riding high. So there's a lot of ups and downs, in 99. After that season in 99, it was crazy. The GM got fired. Dan O'Dowd came back in. Leland was gone. Buddy Bell came in. Out of this 25-guy roster that I was on, they traded away 20 guys. And next year was it was tough. I had a bad year in 2000. I made the team out of spring training, made it as a closer. Then I had like one bad game, they shipped me out. It was crazy. I had options. That's another obstacle. I was blessed to play 5 years in the big leagues with 3 different teams. But there was times where I was the guy, and there was times that I was the guy up and down, and there was a guy I was the jick just in case. And obviously, I wish I could have done a little bit better than I did, but I'm very fortunate to play when I did, how long I did, and meet a lot of great people. But after that 2000 season, I saw my name like January 2nd, 2001. I saw my name on the ESPN ticker. I got traded to the Yankees. I'm like, yes, because the Yankees are, the best, one of the best organizations you can be. Then I was down there in camp, made their team out of spring training. Then 2 days left from spring training, Joe Torre calls me back in the office. He says, "You want the good news or the bad news?" I was like, "Well, let's give me the bad news." He goes, "The bad news is you ain't gonna be at the Yankees. The good news is you're gonna be on San Diego." So I got traded to San Diego, and I still believe I'm kind of crazy, but I still believe if I was on that Yankees team, they'd have won the World Series that year. I just whatever. But I got sent out to San Diego and got to play 3 Hall of Famers there with Trevor Hoff, which I'm still good friends with. Still talk to Ricky Henderson and Tony Gwynn, and a lot of other cool guys on that team. Obviously, I don't know about you, but I've never encountered a bad dude when I played with baseball. I mean, there might have been one dude who was kind of crazy. I won't name I had a problem with, but everyone else was really good people. Even the the guys are coming from different countries, didn't know English. I mean, they're pretty much everyone was good people, good dudes, and everyone had their own little way. But I tell you one thing, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but I talked about the Steelers so much every day. It was almost like obnoxious, but just, I don't know. I just remember being in that room and someone had like Texas or California or this, and
Right.
I couldn't wear a Pirates, thing every day, being on a different club. That wouldn't fly too well, but that's why we're the Steelers. It was
Yeah.
crazy too, Chad. Like, I always wanted to play for the Pirates. And I was the only person who probably wanted to play for the Pirates because the Pirates wouldn't, and they're still doing the same thing they've done way back when. And you can be good, but when you get good, they get rid of you.
They can't afford you anymore, right?
He says he can't afford you, but Nutting is the ninth richest owner in baseball. But I understand with the markets and it's getting out of hand. But I wouldn't say no if you're getting that, if you're getting paid, I think they can afford you if they're going to give you that contract.
Absolutely.
Then I bounced around. I played the whole year in San Diego. I got hurt. I pitched like 5 games in a row. My arm was a little sore, and I went in, said I needed a day off. They checked my arm at bone spurs. They put me on DL. Then I came back, missed a month, came back September. And I still pitched pretty good. I was like second team ERA, but I was an older guy, supposedly like 29, 30, going to hit arbitration. Instead of paying me the arbitration number, they just let me go and bring in a younger guy. And that year, I signed with Minnesota. It was weird. I played the whole year in the big leagues, and I don't know if it's ever happened to you or not, but I couldn't find a job. I mean, like no one really wanted me, and my agent was telling me. I didn't believe him. I was like, "You're telling me I played the whole year? I had like a 3-something ERA, and no one wants me, and I had a good arm, and I was, wasn't a problem." They're like, yeah. So I took I had to take like a invitee roster spot to Minnesota, and didn't really pitch that well in camp, for whatever reason, and didn't make their team. And I was in AAA the whole year, and I was in Edmonton. Edmonton, Canada. I think the biggest thing,
though, right?
What's that?
It's kind of a decent place to pitch. Big yard.
Oh yeah.
Right?
There was sun in your eyes and hitting. It was weird. Up in April there was snow, and then like it didn't get dark till like 10:30 at night. It was tough travel. That league was tough travel. I was stuck there. I mean, I was pitching good for a while. And, I heard rumors that Texas wanted me and they wouldn't release me. Then I met David Ortiz there in spring training, and he called me and wanted me to go play Dominican winter ball down there. So I went down there to find a job.
Yeah.
I pitched well down there, and the Dodgers saw me, and that's when I came to LA and I was in camp, and I pitched okay. Then I went when I was in Vegas. I never really went to Vegas besides playing baseball. Right. And I was there, and it just I loved Vegas. Everyone. It was hot, but I liked the heat. It was always breezy. I liked it there, and I knew why other teams did terrible there. They weren't there to play baseball. They're there to have a good time. But I had a good time in Vegas, and I had an opportunity to go to Japan. I think it just didn't happen, and I think you got called up that year, and I stayed down in Vegas the whole year. Then at the end, I got in minor league season. I went home to Pittsburgh, had my daughter born. Then I got traded to Cleveland. I got Ricky Bell was telling me, my dad's trying to trade for you since the All-Star break. And this is a true story. I call up like a week before in September. I was like, hey, you guys going to call me up? They said, I think they called Rodney Myers instead of me. Mm-hmm. But they weren't answering the phone for the Indians. So John Farrell, who's the farm director at the time, I talked to him. He's like, Dave, listen, he goes, if these Dodgers don't pick up the phone, we're moving on. We're going to bring somebody else up. So I'm thinking, And this is it was my service time, being in the big leagues, money, and I was calling everybody. I got a hold of Kim Eng. I don't know if she's still with the Dodgers or not. You remember Kim?
Oh yeah, I'm not sure. She's in baseball somewhere. I'm not sure where. Maybe the
Yeah,
Giants.
yeah. So
I'm not sure.
I got in touch with her, then the trade went off.
Mm.
Yeah, which is, and I spent last month with Cleveland, and the next year I played. Didn't make team out of spring training. I got called for 2 weeks. I had a bad game. That was my last episode in the big leagues in '04. Then I bounced. I had outs in my contract. If I'm not in the big leagues by a certain time, then I could jump from team to team. So I jumped like 6 different places in 2 different, like the last 2 years.
Trying to find the right spot, right?
Yeah, it was
Right
tough.
timing, right spot.
Yeah, no doubt. And I played the last 2 years, like '05 and '06 in Venezuela. Did really well down there, And in '07, I had, it was tough finding jobs, and the Cubs said, you come to camp, 15 guys got to get hurt, and we don't know if we're going to even give you, triple A job. So that was it, man. It's just going back when you're playing, you don't realize this when you get older. At least I thought, I still thought I could play, and then I was calling every major league team.
Right.
I called the Pirates and this, and no one really wanted. I couldn't convince them, and just it was frustrating. But looking back on it, if I do any regret I do have was pitching that game in college. Other than the pro side of it, when I got professional, I couldn't have done anything else that I did.
Yeah.
Now there might have been times when I got called up and I was on a 2-week basis and I had to perform or whatever, but people don't realize it's what you got to get established. Once you're established, then it seems like a lot of players' careers take off. But if you don't get established, you're bouncing around. It's tough. It's tough to stay. I think for me, I thought it was easy, believe it or not, to get to the big leagues. Looking back on it, now there was times in A-ball that I thought I was never going to get there. When I got to Double A, I went straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Then just the grind, being in the right place at the right time. You're injured away, or you got someone to believe in you. But playing the big leagues obviously was a dream. A lot of hard work, a lot of preparation. And mental toughness. I thought I had a lot of resiliency, mental toughness, and work ethic, because I've always knew that I could do it. And it was tough handling the things that you couldn't control.
Yep.
And I don't know how your career went or what you thought about it, but I got to play in every major league stadium from '99 to '04. And speaking as a pitcher wise, I faced anybody who's anybody. And seeing if I obviously threw strikes and got ahead, I had a good shot of getting you out. Fall behind, even the guy who batted 150, you think, oh, this guy sucks. Like the people on the streets think, I'm like, listen, I don't care what you're batting. If you're in the big leagues and you're a hitter, you can hit. And if you're behind the count and you got to throw a strike, guys like you are making a living on guys from me falling behind and throwing it there,
Right. I'm curious as to, when you talk mental toughness, right, and how you approach that. You said back in college, you had something within you that was, you got beat up a little bit. You gave up 3 home runs in high school, right?
Yeah, it was before that, like a little bit, but when I was 13, 14 years old, what happened was, I gave 3 home runs. I'm thinking the first ball home run, second pitch home run, 2 balls, third pitch. Like the first 5 pitches, I gave 3 home runs. I'm like, geez, oh man. So my pitch coach came on, like my coach, and I flipped him the ball. I flipped him the ball, I flipped him the ball.
Like you're coming out of the game. Like
I thought I was coming out of the game. He almost like clotheslines me. He goes, hey, where the hell are you going? I'm thinking, you ain't take me out of the game? He was like, no, do you want to pitch or not? I'm like, yeah. And next you know, I get the next 17 out of 18. I strike out the next 17 out of 18 guys, and we end up losing 3-1. And I remember my dad saying, hey, man, what happened? That was the best game you ever pitched. I thought you would self-destruct. I'm like, because you always do like that. I'm like, hey, man, I just got mad. He goes, well, get mad from the get-go. Why wait for things to happen, and that's what I pitched. I wanted to fight you. Like, I could joke around. I could talk about my Steelers Nation or anybody like that. every day, but when we locked in the lines, it was game time. Everyone had their own little thing. I
Yeah.
mean, I tell you what, you always looked like you were focused and you were always calm and collected, and nothing really bothered you. And you could fly. You had a really good arm. You had light tire power, and you could hit the ball. It seemed easy for you at times. And when guys are locked in, that's what happens. And just there were times also when I was playing, I'm like, man, I'm throwing the ball, and everything I'm throwing is getting hit. So mentally, when you're on the mind, at least for me, having confidence is the number one thing. I don't care if I can lift up my arm. I don't care who I was facing. I just believe that I can get you out. And I always knew I was one pitch away, one pitch away from out of the inning. And that's my key. I always knew I had it. And I played with players that if they didn't have something working on the pitching standpoint, they were done, mentally done. They were like cashed in, and I would see that from players. I'd try to talk to them and help them out, but I knew, that I had what it takes. So it just a matter of going out there and doing it, being consistent. And that's the main thing I take that I have on the mental toughness side. Mental toughness and your mental approach. I think it's 90% of playing games because everyone has talent. You wouldn't be there. It's your work ethic and your resiliency and your mental toughness.
So when you say like I think you just mentioned like I'm ready to fight you, like I'm ready, I'm going after you, and obviously as a reliever closer, you're coming in for like you said, 30 pitches. You were on a leash at times. Probably in the big leagues, maybe you were on a pitch count, but your job is
not too much,
counts, right?
Yeah.
Right? So you thought in your mind you had the confidence in yourself, and this guy's not going to beat me, and I am coming after you. That was your approach.
That's right, man. I was challenging people. I wasn't, it was weird too because I thought that I was a fastball guy and I threw like 90% fastballs. It was weird. I was kind of crazy. I didn't know how to pitch. I was a thrower.
You were a thrower,
okay. And I got to the big leagues being a thrower, but then I got taught by big leagues by Big Jim Wright, who's a pitch coach. He taught me how to pitch, being able to have confidence in any pitch, and I wouldn't try to trick people. But I would throw a good quality pitch and challenge you and throw my fastball at good spots. Now, obviously, if you're missing spots, you still get away with it. But, just having the confidence in yourself and trust in your stuff and playing the game with conviction.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you ended up playing for 4 big league teams. Is that right?
Three.
Big teams.
Yeah. Like I never made with I guess, Rockies I played with, San Diego and the Indians.
Yeah.
But the Yankees, I was 2 days short and I got traded. Yeah. But I was going to make that team. It was funny. I was on the PlayStation games as a Yankee. I got to play with my idol for a little bit, Roger Clemens. That guy was awesome, man. The first day I got there, I walk into the clubhouse and you see Clemens, Pettit, Posada, Jeter, Rivera. I mean, they're all like down the line. And I'm like, he's like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, Dave Lee. Hey, kid, nice to meet you. I heard a lot of good things about you. If you need anything, let me know. I'm way in the corner, 57, like way back in the corner.
I'll be down there if you need me, right?
Yeah. It was funny. I always had Jerry Dipoto. I'm still good friends with too. He's like, okay, Diesel, you need this guy. He'd always tell me the guys who get autographs for it. Mm-hmm. So I see Yogi Berra walking in. Yogi's walking. He comes up to my like shoulder. He walks in. I'm like, Yogi, come on over here. He comes over. He's like, yeah. I was like, hey, nice to meet you, man. He's like, hey, would you sign? I always had baseball on. He would sign a couple balls for my buddies. He's looking at me, looking at my lawn. He'll know who I am. He's like,
yeah, David Lee. Like,
yeah. Now he was cool. But I got traded from the Yankees. So when Clemens was doing his comeback tour in 06 with the Astros, I was in Round Rock. Okay. Right. So he was coming in, and I hadn't seen Clemens since 01. All right. So he gets in there. He looks on the roster. He looks around the clubhouse. He comes right up to me and goes, hey, Dave, good seeing you. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, need anything? I'll sign anything for you. I'm here for 3 days. It was awesome, man.
That's great. Yeah, it's amazing. Like when you spent a lot of time in the big leagues as a pitcher, so you're probably had a lot of experience. Like you mentioned, Ricky Henderson, all these
Oh
Hall of
yeah.
Famers, like a lot of Hall of Famers you played with.
I think I played with like 17 Hall of Famers,
Yeah, that's incredible.
coaching wise or players. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get any razzing on you as a rookie? Any crazy
I,
stuff you had to do?
yeah. Um, you know, me being from Pittsburgh, my one buddy, Lescanic, he's from Pittsburgh also. And we were big Steeler fans. And he found out the high school I went to, which he knew I went to high school. So they always wait until September, to get the rookies. But we're playing in Three Rivers in '99. It was in June. So back then at the Three Rivers, you always had to come outside, you had to walk across the street, and you get on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, the bus usually goes in the stadium, So what they did was they took my clothes and they found out my high school like colors. So they put like Langley Prom Queen. And the only good thing is they gave me a wig, but they let me wear my tennis shoes.
Okay.
Because a lot of guys in September they had like real small like 6-inch pumps. Oh, it was terrible. But
Yeah.
I got on there and like I waited till everyone got dressed. And I had about 200 people waiting for me, by the way. Yeah, waiting for me. So I got dressed. I went out there. My wife goes, my dad, and they're laughing, taking pictures. And
that's awesome.
yeah, so I went along with it. Then, like, obviously I'm getting beer for the guys. Then get on the plane. You're serving beer. Like all the stewardess had to sit down. All the guys, I want this, and no, I want that. So when I got back to Colorado, they gave me my clothes. Like, okay, you're part of the team now. So I felt like, obviously you had to carry the pop and the beer. Back then, you're allowed to have beer before that accident in St. Louis. But if I had to go sit on the bus or bring someone a beer or because they had more time to be in the big leagues, I didn't care.
Right.
Because I was there and I was doing well. I was doing real well. And everyone liked me and I liked everyone else. And I was just happy to be there and that was happening. So I've been on other teams like 3 or 4 years in September where people got dressed up. And I remember, I don't know if you ever played with, there's a story of D'Angelo Jimenez.
I remember him.
He was an infielder with the Padres. And for some reason with the Padres, we're in Wrigley Field. We go Wrigley Field to San Francisco. And the thing was they were going to dress the rookies and go to Morton's in San Francisco. Mm. So, some reason Angelo just figured he didn't want to get dressed. So he went on the plane in his underwear. Nice. Yeah, they wouldn't give him his clothes. He said he wasn't doing it, but that's not a crazy story. But yeah, I think they eliminated all that stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's everyone gets butt hurt about everything nowadays. So
yeah, what did they do for you? I'm sure you have a little story.
In Pittsburgh, we had to go. We flew to Chicago. We're playing the Cubs, and we had to go paint the bowl. Kind of in a roundabout. You had to climb up and spray paint. We had yellow spray paint. You had to spray paint the balls.
Yeah. They called the cops on you?
Oh yeah, the cops came in the next day. Yeah. I told this story before, I believe so. But yeah, it's it was I was 21, first time in a big city like Chicago. It's loud. There's cops everywhere.
Yeah.
This ain't even like coming from Las Vegas. It's still you have the strip and then it's pretty normal outside of Las Vegas, like normal suburbs, so it was loud and like I was pretty scared. Like, this is crazy.
They did that with a couple guys when we went there in '99, and a couple guys like, listen, we already got you in Pittsburgh. This is happening. Don't tell any of these guys. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's all good fun, it takes a lot, I guess, to embarrass me in that way. So it's like, I'll do it, but I'm like, I just don't want to get in trouble, and then the cops showed up, and they're like, you guys are going to jail, basically, just to keep the story short. But yeah, that's great. So at what age were you when you were done playing? Because it sounds like you played in the big leagues for a while, 5 years, and then you went to Venezuela. So there comes a point, right, that I want to hang it up.
I want to say it was 06 at 33. Okay. I was 33. I was still throwing like 90 to 94, 95, but for a reason, they didn't want nothing to do with me. So it was it's a hard pill to swallow. I don't
Yeah.
know when you decided to hang it up, but it took me about a year and a half just sitting around, just thinking, what the hell is happening here? I can't believe it. And I took a year off, and I got back to the gym. I was training, and then I was going to try to come back. And I was playing the semi-pro in Pittsburgh. And I was throwing the ball. I probably the best shape I've ever been because I take a year off of ponding and train. And I was throwing really good, and I was semi-pro league, wooden bat, and then was in a playoff game, and I was starting. I was still throwing really good, and I threw a pitch, and I blew up my flexor tendon, man. And that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was going to try
That
to come back for
semi-pro.
a couple. What's that?
Semi-pro will get you.
What, did you do something like that at all or no?
No. I was well. I mean, if you remember when we played, with the Dodgers, that was when I was going through my shoulder, my labrum tear that I had.
Yeah.
So I was.
Maybe you had vision issues too. I remember you were getting your eyes fixed, and
yeah, I was a mess, man.
Next thing you know, you're hitting. After you got your eyes fixed, you're hitting like 700.
need another LASIK surgery. It's all good, but yeah. So now let's fast forward. Let's talk about your family and your kids, because you got a kid that's playing some ball. Sounds like he's pretty good. What can you tell us about them?
Oh yeah, my kids are great kids. I was young. I got in a little bit of trouble, but my kids are great kids. They're hardworking, real good athletes. I don't know where they must get from their mother, but yeah, my son Dave, man, he was going to go to Pitt. Then my coach at Pitt was at Mercer, has transferred to Pitt, and he got let go. Now he's down IMG, but since he left Pitt, he went to his Division II school right next, about 20 minutes from Pittsburgh, called Cal UPA, and he's doing all the right things. He's strong. He's fast.
He's a big kid, right?
Yeah, well, he wasn't big when he got. He was like 6'2", about 165, 170 pounds in high school. Could always run, could always throw.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's about 6'3", 190. And he's put together, man. He runs 6'5", 88 to 92 on the gun, hits the ball like 450 feet.
He's got tools.
He's a beast. Yeah, there's teams come look at him this year. Hopefully they play with COVID and all that. You never know, but they're supposed to play. And yeah, he got a shot. He's a hard worker, great kid, never gets in any trouble, really thoughtful, really respectful. Yeah, I'm proud of him. And my daughter's a junior. She's a good athlete as well. She hits, runs, and throws. She's playing softball here at the local high school here at Thomas Jefferson, and she got some Division I teams looking at her, but we'll see what happens with her. Just gotta keep on going, and got a lovely, beautiful wife. Been there, Tracy. Been there since I was in high school. And she's been with me. Thick and thin, and I wouldn't be here today without her. So I'm blessed. I have a great family, and everything's good.
Good. That's awesome. Yeah. So what are you doing now? You're retired from baseball. Kids are growing up.
Yeah. So now I train kids. Train like 30, 40 kids a week, which all ages. If they're younger, if they're friends of mine, I'll work with the young kids. I got a few from like ages 8 to 12, but mostly like 13 to 15. Then my elite group like 15 to 18. Then I got kids in college, and I work a couple pros. But I'm more into like mentally developing them, mentoring them, giving them advice, giving them confidence, help them with recruiting, the whole stage. Just like a mental transformation. Getting the best out of them. And just show them how to work, because I thought I knew how to work when I was in high school, and I went to college, and I getting in minor leagues, the programs they have, and your work ethic, and putting things on a regimen, and the arm care, and the weightlifting, and it's a whole process. It's an eye-opening experience for the parents. Some of the parents have no idea. Some of the parents have a good game. Some parents are delusional, but I try to keep them even keel. Don't get too happy. Don't get too low. around here, the big things, the East Coast Pro, you have the area code games, and the kids that are good enough, we put them on there. I just try to find a home for the kids. And, I don't do that. I do that for nothing for the kids. Like, I get paid obviously to do the lessons, but when I recruit a kid or I help them find a school, I just do it because I can. If no one did it for me, I try to make a difference, in someone's life. And it's personal relationships you build. And I've had friends, and I met some of my best friends through baseball. Training kids, and kids call me all the time, tell me about how good they're doing. But it makes you feel good, and the mental aspect. There's no doubt that's the thing I try to teach and stress, because what you're thinking, I can will my way, or I can convince myself on a certain thought that make me do this or do that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I live my life. I'm always a positive person, and always an optimistic, and believe in myself. And that's why I try to train the kids. And I'm with the boys and girls. I'm in softball now too. I'm coaching softball, which is crazy. Fast, big softball. Fun daughter, and I still
Can you
train.
throw it? Can you get it going underneath there?
A little bit, not that good though, man. Believe it or not, it's tough. It's like those
That's a whole
girls, those
different animal.
pitchers, man. They can throw every game. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the slap bunting's a little different. The slap bunts. Yeah. How about your family? How's your family doing?
Family's great, man. 4 kids. They're all back. My oldest is in junior college, sophomore, her second year, just moved back in the house. Was living with some girlfriends, experiencing that college life.
Yeah.
But COVID hit, moved back.
Yeah.
Son's a senior, and then a daughter that's 14, and another daughter that's 12. So busy family in the Hermansen household.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, what in Vegas? I got a buddy out there in Vegas. I don't know if you might know him, you might not. You ever run into Chandler Martin?
Chandler Martin. I can't say so.
Okay, yeah, he's in the Vegas area. I came up with him in the minor leagues. He was a big time prospect, and he just got hurt like 20 times. But I know he's in Vegas now. But I know Vegas is a big city, so you never know. Usually, sometimes baseball guys know each other.
Yeah, pretty small baseball community. It's obviously, like, we're old now, right? We're in our
40s. Yeah. He's our age though. You're younger than me though. But you think you're old, but I'm like 47. I'm like Father Time here.
Yeah, you're almost 50. You're way old. Yeah.
I know you're like 40. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight knit community out here, but there's so many newer players. That are playing in the minor leagues. They're in Vegas, and they were really good high school players, maybe went to college outside of Las Vegas, and now they come back home, and a lot of them train together. So yeah, it's pretty good.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if you watched the World Series or not, but you probably did, maybe. But it seemed like everyone's throwing 95 to 100. I think the guns are juiced, but I could be wrong.
No, I mean, there might be a part of that, but everyone is, they're training a little bit differently. These guys are. We've had conversations with other guys on the show talking about, are they just better athletes? Are they just train more? Have a better idea what they're doing? I don't know the answer to that, but I mean, these guys are freaks.
Everyone's throwing 95. Yeah,
they come in and they're just blowing cheese, and their sliders are 92. And it's just like, and these guys hit them. The hitters practice hitting off these machines that are 100 miles an hour, and they're just used to it. It's a different.
I tell you what, it's weird, man. When I grew up, if you didn't throw 90, they didn't look at you in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They went. It was weird. Now it's like, you very see a guy throwing in the mid 80s, or if that guy does, like that Yarborough from Tampa, like he was throwing 85, he said, but he just had some funk going on from the side, and you gotta have something special, gotta be able to locate. But nah, it's crazy, Yeah.
Well, Dave, this has been awesome, man. I'm excited for you and happy for you. You're working with kids. I know when we're done playing, it's hard to figure it out, especially you went to Lee's College, and a lot of us, if we came out of high school, went into pro ball, played 13 years. It's kind of tough to figure it out, what you want to do because your passion's been involved in baseball. But I'm glad that you're still in it, that you're helping coach kids. And I wholeheartedly agree that working with kids and that they want to get better, they want to learn, that they don't have the ego in the way of actually being able to listen, to a guy that's been through it. And I'm sure you experience that a little bit. But I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad you're helping these kids.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. It's good to be on. I'm sure you can help people here in Pittsburgh, Western PA. I know a lot of people here, and I'm sure they'll see that, and you'll get calls, and hopefully you can help guys out here in the Western PA, because having someone like you can make a difference in the kids' lives on the field and off.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun, man. I think you'd agree with all these clients you're working with the pitchers. It's fun when kids get it, and you can start to see their confidence build. They come to you and they start to open up, right? They start to be vulnerable in regards to, hey, I need work on this. And rather than trying to be this tough guy, like we try to build them, right? Build their self-image, their confidence, and just teach them how it works, so.
I tell you what, there's so much truth to that. I'm sure you've seen it when I played. There are guys that are like little teddy bears that are guys that they need pat on the back. And guys who had it, it was amazing. I'm sure you've seen it too. It's just, I guess that's what everyone every day in life. But just believe in yourself. There's a lot of people who have thin skin. A lot of people, it's crazy. A lot of people are jealous of other people, like in their careers. I've seen teammates jealous of this guy, that guy. This guy's getting this money, that guy's getting that money. But mentally, man, it's just that mental grind, mental toughness. Desire to be the best. But no, I was very fortunate. We were very fortunate to play. I know a lot of people that didn't get the opportunity, but I always thought that if you really want something to do it, you're going to do it. You can make it happen. You'll find a way if you really want it bad enough. And that's why I try to tell all these kids, obviously if you see someone they're never going to make it, I'm always upfront with them, but I always say, hey man, get to college. And once you get to college, anything can happen from there. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're really elite, like you were, and there's a couple of kids that I work with, there's one kid could be a first round pick next year, if he works and if he's, stays healthy. I mean, he has projection to be the first round pick next year. It's just there are people who can do it, but you gotta be a work ethic. You have to be so good. Like there's a kid, Austin Hendricks, here in Pittsburgh. He was like I don't know, 12th or 15th pick.
I scouted him. Yeah.
Yeah. He was unbelievable.
Yeah. I got to scout him when I got assigned the USA team. He was an underclassman, so he was still probably 16. He was a sophomore. So he was at that event, left-handed, just launching already. And I was like, I saw it then, and I was obviously pretty easy to see, like, this guy's a first-round pick, Yeah. He's got some. He really dove into the ball, had some mechanical things that can get cleaned up, which I'm sure he's doing. But man, it was, he could throw, he could run, he had all the tools. And first round pick 2 years later, that's what it's when it's there and the work ethic's there and you keep working and you got the mental game to back you up, there's a lot that can happen.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, Dave, I appreciate your time. I'm 3 hours behind you, man. The night's still young here. It's bedtime for you. And but I appreciate your time, man. We got to keep in touch. You come out to Vegas, let me know.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, no doubt.
I appreciate you coming on the show.
All right, man. Enjoyed it. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, buddy. We'll stay in touch. We'll see you.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Bye. Hey, guys. Hope you enjoyed that conversation with David Lee. He's got a great story, pitched in the big leagues for a long time. I just love hearing stories about these guys, the struggles they went through, injuries that happen, and just the resiliency of all these guys that get to the big league. So hopefully you are taking that to heart, that there's really no easy path, right? There's only so many guys that got to the big leagues where it was just smooth sailing. So take that to heart. Want to also remind you of, if you want to join my membership, I have just launched the membership. Have a video vault. I'm doing live weekly calls, email access. That is at mentaledge.training. So if you are serious and you have a son or a daughter that wants to continue to work on their mental game, I am working with athletes individually as well as in group. And these videos in my membership allow you to kind of work at your own pace. I know everyone's really busy. I can only work with so many people one-on-one at a time. So the video vault is going to be awesome for you to work on your training. So again, I appreciate you joining the show with us here today, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.